It's news time. Information is power. The current, the news headline. Two things Joe Igbokwe said about Igbo people that shouldn't be taken for granted. Joe Igbokwe, an APC chieftain, recently spoke about the outcome and the continuous process of the Anambra governorship election. While reacting, he noted that the region is still lagging behind because of the way they handle certain issues that relate to national and regional politics. Everyone knows that Igbokwe have always been a staunch supporter of the Nigerian government. However, he has always made a point in whatever thing he said as regards political tensions in the southeast. Once more, he reminds the region of some things they are getting wrong when it comes to politics in Nigeria. Let us check out some of the things he recently said about the election in Anambra State, as well as the Southeast region in general. According to Daily Post, Igbokwe allegedly accused the region of playing ethnic politics and that they will never be able to move forward with the way they handle situations that pertain to Nigeria's political terrain. He also ascertained that the region and its people would continue to remain onlookers in the country. So this should not be taken for granted because Nigeria's political space involves effort and partnership. There is no way you will be clamoring for the presidency when you don't want to blend in with others that are already there before you. For me, Igbokwe should be commended for all he has been doing for the region. Not wanting to work or collaborate with those at the center is another good point Igbokwe raised. The aide to Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State said that connecting with the federal government would basically help the region in one way or another. It will also help them in overcoming their political struggles. And being an Igbo man, there is no way Igbokwe will be looking for always to destroy his own people. Everything he said is for the good of the region, and it is the people for the people's benefit. And this is the right time to start thinking about it. In fact, the best approach is to get results quickly, and this is to work with people who have actually been there before you. And these were the words of this analyst talking about Joe Igbokwe, about the national and regional politics that have been played, especially in Anambra State, and as regards the indigenous people of Biafra. This writer as well has tried to justify the actions of the indigenous people of Biafra, yet trying to look for a balance in between the choice of the IPOB to break away from Nigeria. Buhari was better than Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Aminu Kano et al. He succeeded in his mission, generating hateful comments against me, but I leave him to God. For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of God to answer for what we have done, including all forms of lies against a fellow man. Our profession or political and ethnic affiliations would no longer matter as at then. We're talking of Joe Igbokwe before the brief diversion. Yes, this man loves Buhari to bits. He loves Nigeria and he loves his native Igbo land. And you know what? That is now a crime in our country. Igbokwe's life has been severely and severally threatened. His family hounded, and on October 3rd this year, his county home in Inewi was set on fire. Igbokwe is a nationalist. His education, primary, secondary, and even university he had in the southeast, but since he got posted for national service in Ogun State in 1985, he had remained in the southwest, identifying with the people, their politics, their way of life, while not repudiating his love for his roots in Inewi and the southeast generally. No wonder he is popularly called Agbalanze, after that Onitsha Cultural Association. When it was not popular for people in the southeast to follow the progressives, Igbokwe threw his axe into the ring. From Alliance for Democracy AD to Action Congress of Nigerians ACN to All Progressive Congress APC, he stood to be counted. And if you count committed followers of Buhari today, the Agbalanze is in the number. If there is anything he needs to clarify about government or our principle, Igbokwe never hesitates to get in touch with him. I gave him background information and he is satisfied. When some people from his part of the country began to retreat into ethnic cleavages and wanted the intelligentsia to identify with them, the special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Drainage and Water Resources made it clear that he was a nationalist and he stood by his conviction, speaking out against separatism and an attempt to balkanize the country. At the risk of so much, he opted for one Nigeria. Igbokwe loves Igbo land. Yes, don't we all love where we come from? Shouldn't we? We should, we must. Because even be good Nigerians, you have to do so. When strange things began to happen in the southeast, people being decapitated, public buildings being torched, and security agencies being murdered in cold blood, Igbokwe stood practically against it. Mom was the word from majority of the leaders of the region, but Igbokwe, the man dies in him, who keeps quiet in the face of tyranny. He spoke out. He kept saying building bridges across the length and breadth of the country was the only way to go, particularly for Igbo Renaissance. He refused to join those who were retreating into ethnic cocoon and stood for nationalism. It is either Nigeria or nothing. The man earned my deep respect. He stood for what was right, fair, and just, for centripetal rather than centrifugal forces in the country. On October 3rd, I was in Ethiopia with Mr. President attending the inauguration of that country Prime Minister for second term in office when we saw the sad news online. The regal country home of Igbokwe in Nnewi, where the man often retires for solitude and where he had a vast library, had been set ablaze. Who didn't? You know the answer. Unbridled hatred was on display, and a patriot was paying a heavy price for his convictions. When that magnificent White House erupted in smoke and fire, it was innocence that was burning. Patriotism was aflame, and the love for motherland was ablaze. Thy glory, O Israel, is slain upon the high places. Gladly, no life was lost, because the attackers couldn't lay their hands on anyone. But great was the loss, and I sorrowed for my brother Joe and his wives. He calls her his crush, Dr. Grace. What happened is what evil speaking does to a country. The lies and hate peddled by evil hearts have germinated, grown, and brought forth evil fruits. You would expect a man who had been hounded, reviled, and attacked by arsonists to return bile for bile, hate for hate, threaten fire and brimstone. But not our Joe. What did he say? We paid the price for the good of Igbo land and Nigeria. By the grace of God, we will rescue Igbo land. It is my turn today. Tomorrow it will be the turn of another body. We must take Igbo land back from the killers and arsonists. I say a resounding amen to those prayers. We must take every part of the country from those who mean no good, concocting sorrows and tears and blood. It is Nigeria or nothing. In brotherhood we stand. No other option is acceptable, not even conceivable. Otherwise,